just take us through what this summer was like for you and how you prepared to be for these moments right now as you get ready to start off training camp?
It was a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. That's really it. It's a lot of hard work, some fun times, but just had a good summer.
How do you approach that work? Do you work on all aspects of your game? Are there specific parts that you're trying to improve on? How do you approach that mentally as you get ready to work this out?
Yeah, for me, look, you can't master any one part of the game, so I try to work on as much as I can, while also focusing in on the kind of the things that me specifically I wanted to work on. And so, yeah, I can't give up all the trade secrets, but just know I was out there. I was working.
Kind of the veteran of the group now, in some ways. Do you feel like you're one of the leaders of this team, and how important is your role as one of the maybe one of the older voices on the team, helping this team reach its goals?
Yeah, I am kind of middle of the pack now. I think I'm in the middle in terms of age, but probably one of the longer tenured players here actually now. So it's a little scary. Yeah, me and Jay and Cal. I think, I do look at myself as a leader of this team. I just, don't want to overspeak, but kind of give my knowledge to some of these younger dudes where I can, when necessary. But I'm here to help this team win, and so that's what I plan on doing.
Is there any mentorship that you've picked up over the last 3 years, or even in college from Coach Williams, that you've tried to pass down to some of the younger guys?
Yeah, not specifically Coach Williams, just from other players, other coaches, just kind of from everyone. I feel like I can learn something. So for me, I just try to, I'm a sponge. I try to learn as much as I can, and just at the same time, now we got young cats like AB, who's I think 19 years old. So I just try to give them advice when needed, and just talk to them. Whenever they come to me. If not, I'll give my advice kind of when needed.
Cole, talk about Joe. I hear he's quite a character.
Joe is probably one of my new best friends on the team. I just want to say that. He is definitely quite the character. He is, it's his birthday today. He turned 36, acting about 20. But, Joe's the man, yo. He's got experience. He was on that list of the few NBA players that kind of are that those new resting rules and stuff in the league are null, so he's on that list. So he's really old. But yeah, man, that's my dog. I love him. He's one of my favorite players, honestly. Ever since he had that series against OKC when he was at Paul George's head, he's been one of my favorite players. And actually, I got to tell him that when I first got to really talk with him in summer league. So big shout out to Joseph.
Well, you were extension eligible this summer. Can you just talk about how those negotiations went and just maybe express your desire to re-sign here?
I don't know. I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about getting ready for training camp, which actually starts tomorrow. And just being the best version of myself I can be.
Well, is this the most talented roster you've been a part of? And if so, what about it excites you so much?
I'd say this is definitely probably the most talented roster. Even more talented, honestly, than my rookie year when we were, that first half of the year. I think this is honestly more talented. I think that we may have honestly at the start that team might have been a little better just because they had been together for so long. They had just made the playoffs, but I think the ceiling of this team is way higher, and I think that we could potentially even, start reaching that ceiling this year.
The way the team closed the season, specifically how you closed the season last year, how much did that build momentum for the offseason and kind of show you guys what this group is capable of?
Yeah, I think not even just the second half of the season. I think after kind of that rough start we had, I think we started 5-20. I think after that we were 29-28. So I think for us, if we can, stay healthy and build off of that, I think, that we have a great chance to have a lot of success in this league, especially this season.
Were you surprised that Markelle cut his hair?
I was. He kind of pulled up at Summer League with a boosie fade, and I was like, sheesh. And so, yeah, I'm not next. Not joining him yet.
Well, you had a great stretch to end the season last year. What did you learn from that run last year, and how did you implement that work this summer?
I just kind of felt like I found my niche kind of at that second half of the season specifically. And for me, I just, my main thing is all right, kind of found something that works. Let's take this. We're not going to remix the formula. We're going to take that and we're going to just build off of it. And so that's kind of what I spent most of the summer just working on, was kind of just how can I be a superstar in my role. And so that was kind of the main thing for me.
Was there anything specific in that role that you found? Or?
Yeah, I kind of just found a way I felt to impact the game as much as possible in whatever amount of time out there on the floor. and yeah, just want to build off of that.
When you talk about working out with Anthony and Jett, talk about what kind of guys those are.
You know, they're really good kids. They're really good kids, and they also can hoop. They are very good, and so it's been fun. Kind of this last month is being in the gym with them, and just kind of seeing them, and just honestly just grow a little bit just this past month. And I think they both have a chance to be very good players, and you know, I think that it's going to be fun. I like them a lot. It's just as guys, and I look forward to sharing the court with them soon.
There's a lot made about the continuity on this team. You got Joe, Jett, and AB are the new guys, but how much of an advantage do you feel like it is to know everyone, know their games, know the coaching staff? How important is that to help this team?
I think it's really important just for everyone to kind of know their role and kind of just not overstep. Kind of like, you know, obviously do what you do best. While you do that, once you kind of do that part right, you can slowly build off of that. But yeah, I think it's good that kind of the whole team kind of we're really close, and that we also know our roles, and I think it's going to just help us as the season goes on.
Do you think you have to win this year to stay together or make the playoffs, just to keep the team together?
I'm not focused on that. I'm focusing on right now. My focus is training camp and getting ready for that first preseason game. But I think we can win this year, and I think I'd love to win. That's personally. Look, as I said, I ain't seen the playoffs yet. I've been waiting years to do it. If it happens this year, it happens. But I think for us, we just got to take it one game at a time, one day at a time, one practice at a time.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Let's walk this.
Let's walk that way.
P5.
How you doing, Paolo?
What up?
Paolo, you know, normally sit here and ask how was your off season, but you didn't really have much time off. You're doing plenty of stuff. Just take us through what this summer was like for you, and you know how you feel it'll better prepare you for the start of the season.
Yeah, it was an eventful summer for me from start to finish, and you know, I was just grateful to have the opportunities I did. You know, playing for USA and you know being able to travel as much as I did and stuff. You know, it was definitely just a special summer in terms of on and off the court, just doing things I've never done before. So I feel like I learned a lot, saw a lot, and I'm just ready to be back.
Along those lines, you're around a lot of brilliant basketball minds, both from players, coaches. You know, what was your biggest takeaway, if any one is specific, from your experience this summer?
You're saying with USA?
Yeah, with Team USA.
Yeah, I think just learning how to affect the team in a positive way when you're not the main guy or the best player by means. So I think I was able to just come out, try to find ways to affect the game, affect the team, being a great teammate, being better on defense, and doing the little things. And so those are three great basketball minds: Spo, Lou, and Coach Kerr, and then Coach Few as well. So I learned a lot, and they helped me a lot.
What, if anything, did you learn about yourself when playing with Team USA this summer?
What did I learn? I think I just learned that, well, one, playing FIBA was different. So that was my first time doing that. I actually really enjoyed playing the FIBA game. I like the way it's played. But I think I just learned that, I'm where I want to be, but I also got a lot more to work on. So it was a good summer.
Paolo, can you take us through the process of playing against FIBA teams? How different from the NBA? Were you surprised at the level of competition at that level?
I wouldn't say I was surprised. I mean, that's like the best basketball in the world outside the NBA that you're going to get. But no, I think the game is shorter, so it's less room for error. It's more physical, more post-ups. Kind of favors bigger guys, more physical guys, which I don't mind at all. So I definitely, like I said, I enjoyed the way it was played. I like the style it was played at, and hopefully I get to play more FIBA in the future.
Coming out of being the rookie of the year, what are your expectations for the Magic? I see you gain a couple of muscles. What's next for this team?
I think just living up to the expectations that we set for ourselves as a team. It's a lot of familiar faces in here. We got a lot of the same guys back with a couple new fresh faces. So we had some success last year once we were all healthy, and I think we're just trying to carry that over to this season. Being able to start the season healthy is huge for us, and I think it's going to give us a real good look at what we can be.
having an off season to look back at your rookie season, what is the biggest thing that maybe you learned from the first 82 games in the NBA?
I would say just being able to handle the traveling and all the other stuff that goes into playing an NBA season. I think this year I'm a lot more prepared for it. Last year kind of, hit me like a bus. I think midway through the year, just travel catching up, the lack of sleep and stuff like that. So now I know how to handle it. I know what to expect, and I think I'll be much better at dealing with it.
As the face of the franchise, Paolo, how are you looking to take a step forward as a leader this year?
Yeah, I think it starts vocally. I think it starts by leading by example. That's something that me, Mose, Franz, a couple other guys been talking about just over the summer is how to come in, lead by example, but also lead vocally and hold each other accountable, and be the voice that the team needs. I think that's something that we're not afraid to do, and we're gonna have to just keep getting better at. And obviously, we're not gonna be perfect, but I think as long as the effort's there and the attitude, the right attitude to try and be a leader, I think we'll be good.
Did your experience at Team USA help with that at all?
Yeah, I think being the youngest guy on the team, I think I was able to, be very vocal, especially kind of in the role I was in, kind of helping some of the other guys, telling them what I saw from the bench and, what I saw on film. I think it helped me take a step for sure. And Mose was there as well, so he saw me kind of take that step, and he expects the same from me here.
What was it like to play against Franz and Mo and such a big game like that? And are they talking trash to you or anything about what happened?
No, we wasn't talking really much trash out there. Us three are hard competitors, but at the end of the day, we're brothers. We're on the same team, and so we had a lot of respect for each other out there. But seeing them get to play for Germany was awesome. I tried to, hold my feelings back a little bit, but I couldn't be nothing but happy for them when they got the win and won gold medal. Even though it was beating us, those guys deserve it. They work extremely hard. Play with a lot of pride for their country. And and then when I got back in the facility, we did talk about the tournament a little bit. Talked about some of the things that went wrong for us and went right for them. So it was funny.
You talked a little bit about the internal expectations that you guys have for this team. Remember back in April, you said playoffs or bust. Do you guys still feel that way about what your maybe results-driven goals are, and what do you need to do to kind of reach your internal expectations for yourself and the team?
I mean, I think we just gotta be who we are, and just stick together. It's gonna be highs and lows, ups and downs throughout the year, but as long as we stay together as a unit, I'm confident with us going up against anybody. I think, when we was healthy last year, there wasn't a team that we looked at and, thought we were outmatched or outmanned. So, when we have a full roster coming in this year, I think, it's just living up to our expectations and trying to, be as good as we can be as a unit. And I think all the playoffs and whatever else is going to take care of itself.
What advice do you have for the incoming rookies this year after what you've had experienced last year? What would you tell the young guys?
I would tell the young guys, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Obviously, we got a great team, a great group of guys that they can come in and, join. And I think both of them bring, unique talent in their own way. And they're both going to, have a lot of great moments this year, but they're also going to have a lot of, tough moments and learning moments, just like I did, just like all the other guys did. I mean, it's your rookie year. You don't, as much as you can try to prepare for it, you're never going to be able to prepare for it. So, like I said, don't put too much pressure on yourself. But, those guys are both good kids, and they carry themselves the right way, and they both work really hard. So I'm definitely, expecting them to, have an impact.
Thanks, Steve. I got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Paolo.
Thanks, Joel.
Some light, man.
Goga, what was the experience like for you playing in FIBA this summer? How did you feel that helped you, and what kind of, what was it like representing your country in that fashion?
Always huge honor, man. To put the jersey on, the flag, and to represent the country. I think we did pretty well. Made it to the top 16. There was a lot going on, injuries and all that, but still managed to get to top 16. Huge experience playing against Germany, which won the tournament, and Australia as well. Top 5 teams, and great experience for our country, the organization, just overall, the Japan. took us with open arms. It was huge for us. And also, whole summer we don't really get to play anything, and all of a sudden you play a World Cup, which is awesome. So that was fun, and as well, it's a little push starting the season. You get that little extra confidence, and so it was huge.
Do you feel too, like as you get ready for training camp, that you're already kind of in that basketball shape in a sense, compared to guys who may not have played competitively like you did also?
Definitely, but also you never know what the guys are doing, other guys, how hard they're working. But we did 2 months of training camp with the national team, played, 10, 12 games overall, including the friendly games. And yeah, man, I think I'm in season shape right now, so it's going to be really comfortable for me to get through the training camp and start the season.
How valuable was the experience with this team last year? Really felt like you kind of found a home, found your own after starting with it.
Sure, man. I was nervous, man. You get waived, like I said last year, don't know where you're going, and all of a sudden the team comes up, you're anxious, going into a new team, first time changing the team, and you going in, and the people just overall around the team take you with open arms, make it feel like home, and all you gotta do is work hard. And I'm not gonna say that every time I got out there, like I did my best and performed at my highest, but they give you a chance to prove next game, give you another chance, And Mose did a great job with me overall. Every coach just did a great job with me and made it easy for me, man. It's just for me as a young player, I still call myself young. It's huge, and it's great to see.
We've heard Jamahl, we've heard Mose, we've heard Jett Howard kind of talk about the internal competition in this team. Do you feel that there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of players, and there's a lot kind of settled here in the next couple weeks with Jalen Suggs?
Yeah, it's good. The training camp, we're gonna make each other better throughout the season. It's like that if you don't play, if you don't compete on the highest level, there's somebody else. So I think it's competitiveness. Just push each other to be even better individually and as a team as well. And 1 to 15, 1 to 12, whoever goes out there is going out there to do 100% and win the game, which is, I think, that makes us really dangerous.
Goga, do you have any expectations for yourself this season? If so, kind of any specific ones you've got?
Nothing specifically. I just gotta go out there, do my job, which is set great screens, protect the rim, protect the paint, press the offensive glass, and to listen to what my coaches want me to do. And I'm gonna just go out there and do that every single night.
Goga, what's it like having a lot of international guys in your roster? Obviously, you represent Georgia, others represent Germany, now Joe Ingles with Australia. What does that mean to you, and how's it make you?
I think we get along with each other. It's a different type of basketball over there. We have all played over there, and you understand this basketball in a different way. I think it's more advanced in little things. And as well as just being from overseas, we have all left our families, our homes. So we get along. We see each other, outside the court a lot. Hang out. So. This is huge. We all have huge respect for each other.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I was scaring up an hour.
Huh? Oh yeah, I was sleeping. I was sleeping. Yeah. I don't know why.
Obviously, it's probably been a wild couple months for you, from getting drafted, summer league, now starting media day, training camp. Just what have the last couple months been like for you as you prepare to start your first NBA season?
Really fast. Ever since the draft, everything's been moving. Really pre-draft and on, it's been like super high speed, but it's starting to settle down. So those 2 months were definitely crazy, but now we're getting settled down and we're getting ready to start the season. So.
You've been in the gym a lot this summer. How has that helped you, being around the coaches, being around other players, and building some continuity and coming into a group that's been together for a little bit?
I think just being around the team helps on the court, in the locker room, in the facility. I think it's going to help us all get closer. I think we got some new guys, not just me and Jett. We got Joe and some other new guys. So I definitely think it's good just being in the facility, having the last couple months in here, and just meeting the coaches, teammates, and starting to work.
maybe there's a lot of expectation from all the fans around the world where you're playing this team. Having Paul and Suggs as guards in your position, what do you think is the biggest adjustment that you got to do to fight for playing time?
Not really. I don't think I have to make any adjustments. I think I just have to do what I do. I think all three of us bring a lot to the game, so I think there'll be a way we can all play together and all help make each other better and make the game easier for all three of us.
And what do you think is going to be the biggest asset in the court with this team?
Biggest asset with this team, probably my playmaking, just because of how many good players are around me, shot makers, finishers, fast athletes in transition. I think I can make plays for my teammates, for sure.
What are your expectations on yourself for your upcoming rookie?
Expectations? I'm really focused on getting a lot better, helping us win games when I get the chance, and just getting acclimated to the NBA really.
And we heard from Jett, the coach, that you're gonna have to play for your minutes. Is that something that you kind of relish, the opportunity to kind of make a name for yourself, fight for your playing time?
For sure. I think that's how it should be for anybody. No matter where you're picked or anything like that, you still got to come in and prove yourself and prove yourself to your teammates and coaches and everybody in the organization. So definitely excited to do that.
I know you said everything's been kind of moving fast and streaming, but what's maybe a piece of advice that either a teammate has given or a coach has given you to help you prepare for training camp this season?
Just a lot of the players, coaches just been telling me how hard rookie year is. You see some of the best players to play didn't get going until a couple years in, and there's a lot of ups and downs. So they've been trying to tell me to let things go, learn to let things go. That's like the big message right now going into the season.
A lot of rookies try to stick with a veteran, use them as kind of like a big brother figure. Is there someone on this team that represents that for you?
Really, the whole team does a good job of looking out for me and even Jett. So definitely try to learn from pretty much everybody on the team, and from the dudes like Joe who've been here are in the league for a while to even Paolo and some of the younger dudes who just went through rookie year last year.
What do you like to pride yourself on the defense? Other guy does that. So have you taken anything from?
Could you repeat it a little bit?
Yeah, I know you pride yourself on the defense. The guy on this team does Jalen Suggs. Have you taken anything from his defensive game, or have you asked him about that?
Not really. No, I haven't asked him much about defense. I feel like defense is kind of just how or you don't. He's done a good job helping me with rotations, where to be off ball and stuff like that though. But yeah, definitely on ball is really just kind of you defend or you don't. Yeah.
You got a lot of guys on this team who have length and can play make like yourself. As far as that goes, have you how important do you think it'll be going into the season to learn from those guys, but also what advantage do you think you guys have being have these traits?
I think first the advantage we're going to get from that is just having dudes on the court who can do multiple different things. It'll make it harder to scout us, I imagine, and it'll just make the game easier for everybody on the court, having players around them who know how to play the game the right way and are also talented.
What's the biggest thing that you've been working on since we last saw you play in summer league? What did you take away from summer league and work on the rest of the summer?
Really scoring, being patient in the pick and roll. I think I did a decent job of that during summer league, but it's another level up, so it's going to be some more learning to do for sure. But yeah, really just all scoring, defensive concepts, all different stuff like that. That's going to be different than it was in college.
I think you were working through an ankle injury to some degree at summer league. Just how are you feeling now entering training camp?
I'm good. Ankle's back to 100%.
Anthony, you're a rookie. You got some guys, some teams you're going to face this year. Are there any one or two specific NBA stars you circle on the calendar? Man, I'm really looking forward to playing against them.
Probably LeBron and KD. Bron's probably the best player ever. And KD is just one of my personal players I like watching. So definitely those two.
Get LeBron early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, AB.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Trying to be in good spirits here.
What up?
What up, my guy? Good? How you doing?
Oh, good.
Well, take us through what this summer was like for you. Obviously, putting in a lot of preparation, getting ready for the season. What were you up to this summer?
First off, just take care of my body. Just finding new ways to just continue to make sure my body feels fresh throughout the whole season, which is hard to do. But I picked up on a couple of things this summer. Continue with my conditioning, continue on my aggressiveness on offensive end, defensive end. Just being healthy. Being healthy was probably the number one thing for me. Just going into the season feeling good, so that's really about it.
I know you were dealing with the foot issue from December. You know, not as an excuse, but how much was that affecting you throughout the season each year?
Oh, it affected me a lot for sure. Quite frankly, I mean, it hurt every game, but they was telling me it was something that couldn't necessarily get worse, so I was like, okay, like let me just buckle down and just finish out the season, make it to the off season to where I can rest it, get whatever treatment I needed to be back at 100%.
The team hired a new kind of director of performance in Arnie. What's the relationship been with him, and how has he maybe changed some of your approach to things so far?
Arnie is a phenomenal person. We'll just begin with that. He's someone who brings great energy into any room he walks into, and he brings us a different type of outlook on life. His big thing. He's into meditation. He's into mental health. Like, he's big on the things outside of the court. So when you do get on the court, it just makes the game a little bit easier for us. So he's someone who just is able to take any situation that you're in and make it a positive. So that's someone I can look for, not just to work on my body, but just for a mental aspect of it.
Do you meditate?
Yeah, I do now. Yeah, I definitely do now.
Like how long do you meditate?
Usually right after we get off of court, we do a little session out there called grounding, and he's basically calming down the body, right? So you lay down, you close your eyes, and he's like talking you through what he wants you to do. And you do like a little stretching with it and stuff, but like he starts ringing his bell, like it's some legit stuff. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
How important is it for you guys? It seems it's the healthiest the team has been since you've been here. No one has any restrictions going into March. Just how important will that be for you guys this year?
Man, I'm just excited to see what happens for us, man. Since I've been here, that hasn't been a thing yet. So I think that with us being healthy was like half the battle last year. When guys came in, guys were getting hurt going out. Some guys wasn't able to even start off the season healthy. So I think that this is like prime time. I think this is going to be the best you see in Orlando since I've been here at least.
And last year, of course, we talked a lot about the start. I think it was 5-20 or whatever. Knowing that you've been through that, you're healthy now, just what did you learn from that experience? What did everyone learn from that experience to kind of hit the ground running, so to speak?
Yeah, one thing about the NBA, especially in the regular season, it's about how you start and how you finish. The middle of the season usually fluctuates. With whatever the case may be, people are getting tired, whatever the case. But usually the beginning of the season and end of the season are usually the most important. And we saw that last year. After that 5-20, we had a fairly decent season, but that 5-20 is what hurt us at the end. So we understand we guys got to go into this year and win as many games as possible to start. I think it's a good thing for the league. It keeps guys engaged in the middle of the season. Keeps people wanting to play. Sometimes you can hear players say that they get bored with the season or whatever the case may be. I think them incorporating that definitely keeps the NBA interesting. Even not saying that it's not interesting now, but it just keeps it on your toes, on the edge of your seat for the fans and things like that. So I think it's a good thing for the league. Say again? Oh, absolutely. Me personally, I've never been to the playoffs, so I'm definitely going to treat it as. I'm going to treat it like it's the playoffs, for sure.
Del, you spent some time with Joe, Anthony, and Jett. Can you talk about your impressions of those guys?
Can you say it again? I didn't hear you.
You spent some time with Joe and Anthony and Jett. Can you talk about those guys?
Joe's a guy who brings a certain. I thought you was on some serious. No, Joe is a veteran. No, he's been in the league for a long time, been on winning teams, so he's definitely going to bring a different type of mentality to the game that a lot of us might not have right now. AB and Jett, that's everything you can ask for in a rookie. They want to learn, they want to find ways to help the team win. So it's going to be easy playing with those guys for sure.
Paolo said earlier that he really appreciates what you go through now after playing center in the World Cup. Have you talked to him about that?
Absolutely. The first day he got back, that was the first thing he said to me, like, man, I didn't realize how hard it is being a 5-man in the NBA. And I was like, man, it's definitely one of the toughest jobs in my opinion. So it just shows that guys are starting to appreciate just the little things that I'm doing too. Not saying that he didn't before, but for him to witness it firsthand, so now he kind of understands what exactly it is. Yeah.
Where do you hope to improve individually this season? Obviously, there's a lot of team goals out there, but what do you feel like you need to do to help the team reach those goals?
Continue to be aggressive on the offensive end in terms of taking open shots. I think I took a pretty good jump these last 2 seasons and just taking shots when they're open. But I think just increasing it even more to take pressure off some of our more dominant scorers on the team. I think it just makes it easier for everyone. So I think that's one of the things I'm bringing into this year, being a better shooter for sure, and a playmaker. Being able to read certain defenses and make sure I'm getting guys open with open shots.
The roster is very much has a lot of continuity from the year before, but can you describe maybe how the energy is a little bit different because y'all's expectations are maybe a little bit higher?
Oh yeah, the energy's definitely been shifted for sure. Going into this year, we're telling each other we're holding everybody accountable, whether that's arguments, whether it's congratulating one another, whatever the case may be, but we're holding each other accountable for everything from the start of the season to the end because we want to make it to the playoffs, and that's the only way you can do that, especially on a young team.
Playoffs are bust. I think all of us said that last year.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Especially now. That's definitely a thing. It's definitely that. It's that for sure.
Del, can you talk about Markelle and just the chemistry?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
And how important that he is to this team. Obviously, the 5-20 start last year, and then everybody gets healthy, and just the role that Markelle played to the success last year.
Yeah, Markelle is a phenomenal player. He plays the game the right way. He plays extremely hard. I remember just talking to him last year after games, and he's like, I don't care about how many points I score. I don't care about how many assists I get. It's just about winning. And he understands when you win, everybody eats. Everybody's happy. Everybody gets what they want out of this game. So.
Everyone good?
Could you repeat that?
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'm not repeating that shit.
I just told Dale about being serious, and he over here laughing, so joking around. Brenner, step
Markelle, for you in particular, how good does it feel to be healthy this time of year as you start, training camp and having the whole unit around you healthy as well?
I'll just give all the glory to God. For myself, I put a lot of faith in Him, and again, and y'all know everything that I've been through. Just to be able to come into training camp healthy is that's a big one for me. So. Again, I'm just happy that I'm able to come in here and be able to not only give my words and thoughts, but be able to participate in everything moving forward. And like you said, to have the rest of the team healthy as well, that's a big part of it. That's one of the things that we're going to try to do this year. Have as many guys as we can stay healthy, so we can have as many threats as we can.
The way you finished last season, do you feel like maybe you got a little bit of that spring back from Washington?
Absolutely. That was probably the best my legs have felt in a long time. I felt like they're even a lot stronger just with all the, paying attention to details that I did, coming back from my ACL. And again, I feel really good coming into the camp, even better than I did, finishing last year with a, good, healthy, off season and coming into training camp. I'm, like I said, looking forward to just being able to play with these guys and continue to build our chemistry, continue to get better, continue to learn each other, continue to hold each other accountable. And again, get ready for preseason and get ready for the season.
Kel, can we talk about the hair? Cut the hair off. Is that so you can be more aerodynamic and faster?
Yeah, a little bit of that, but just I want to come in with a new look, new energy, everything. I think I haven't had my hair like this since I was in 8th grade. And growing the dreads, it was fun while it lasted, but it just felt like time. I kind of been going back and forth with it, and actually going back home for the summer. I reconnected with my barber who's been cutting my hair since I was younger, so I just feel like it was perfect time. Especially coming in this year. The narrative change for myself, and just coming in with a different mindset and different, goal. But I think it just fits perfect for what I'm trying to do. Yeah, absolutely. The best is yet to come, and I think that's what most excites me. I have a lot that I can get better at, but more importantly, just being healthy and being able to be as, out there on the court. I think you're just going to be able to see more and more of me. Again, I'm just super, super happy to get into training camp and get working with these guys. We got a great group of, young talent and a couple older guys, but I think it's going to be really fun. Again, the league is yet to see the best of me. It's going to come out, this year, every game. I'm coming out with a chip on my shoulder, just proving, not only for myself, but for this organization, to show what I can do.
How important is it for you to have a fully healthy summer and full healthy training? I'm not sure that's something you've ever really had in your career.
Yeah. Exactly. This is my first full healthy, off season, and then going into training camp being fully healthy. So I think it's going to benefit me very well. Again, just being able to be on the court always helps. Every game I always get a little bit better, and I think that, again, just being able to be out there, I'm going to learn so much more. I'm going to be able to help my teammates so much more, and that's one of the main things, one of my main focus for this year, just being available and being healthy. So
after that, you were out 25 games or whatever, but seemed a terrible start. Thinking about that, is a good start more important than it is for being better?
Very, very important. And it starts in training camp. It starts tomorrow, one day at a time, coming in focused. And I think the big thing for us is, one, coming in every day, making the best out of that day, but even more important is being vocal to each other, holding each other accountable, holding each other's feet to the fire. I think everybody's ready for that. I think, everybody got a small taste of that last year, the end of the year, especially where everybody comes back healthy, but this year I think everybody's hungry and everybody's happy. We know how important, those first couple games are, especially, like you said, missing out in the beginning and then still having a chance to make the playoffs, but, that beginning season really shot us in the foot and hurt us. So I know that's a lot of our focus. I know everybody's really prepared to, get going early and especially in the beginning season and, start off well.
How important was that? How much of that you guys have in the offseason, and how much of that does that experience help you guys as you try to take that next step?
A ton. You only learn through experiences. So I think that for us, and especially with the group of young guys that we have, for them to go through that at a young age, it only helps us. Even for myself and even some of the vet guys, to be able to see where we can help each other out at. But I think that was great. I think there was no better situation than to be able to be in that position. And I think that, again, it's going to help us. And we already have the mindsets through the summer, how we've been working, our mindsets coming into training camp. I think it's going to be big for us.
What are your early impressions of Anthony and Jett?
I think they're great young guys. One, they're good people, first of all, and then two, they have good work ethic, and they're very versatile. They're willing to learn and willing to, pick up early to put in the extra work. So I think that, it's going to be good to have, multiple people that can play multiple positions and great talent. Again, another young guy that's going to be able to be in that fire, hopefully, and, learn from, people around them, their peers, their brothers that's not too much older than them, and that been through the same thing that they're going through. So I love it, man. I think it's going to be great.
Kel, every time I ask somebody about Joe, a smile comes to their face. Can you talk about Joe a little bit?
Man, Joe's amazing, man. Joe brings the old head energy. He just turned 36 today, which is crazy to even think about. But, he's one of those guys that's going to talk trash to whoever's around. He's going to talk whatever he's speaking on his mind, but at the same time, he has his tricks and his trades. He's been through it. He's been on winning teams. So it's going to be good to have a guy like that around who's going to be able to hold us accountable, and also who's been through, a winning culture, who knows what needs to be done to get to where we're going and help us get there. So I'm super excited just to get on the floor with him and be able to play with him and even just pick his mind, him being around and almost being like the grandfather of the, the young guys. So it'll be dope.
How pumped are you about having Damian Lillard in the East?
I love it, man. I always love the competition to be able to go against, guys like that and be able to compete. So to be able to play against him, it's going to be good. I'll be interested to see how that works out over there. But again, I think I'm more so focused on
how it's going to work out.
Yeah, just how we doing, and I don't know. I think they have great talent, but you never know until you see it, So I think it's going to be dope to see.
It's a contract. Do you know where things are at the negotiation with the reps? Does that weigh on you at all as you're
not at all. You know, I've been through so much in my career that, you know, the best thing for me is just being able to play. You know, that's all I focus on. And I know that if I focus on that, everything else will take care of itself. You know, obviously I would love to be in Orlando, you know, for a long, long time. But again, I'm just worried about, you know, every day, taking it one day at a time. But I love this organization, man. I think that, you know, everything is going to fall in place where it needs to. But I'm just focused on, again, getting through training camp, staying healthy. And I think that, you know, everything else will take care of itself.
Markelle, you this time last year, you know, 4th seed.
Yeah.
Obviously, injuries kind of derailed that. Do you have any expectations both for the season?
I'm not going to put I'm putting the same out there. You know, I got high expectations for the team. You know, we got a lot of great talent. Again, what we've been through, I think it's only going to make us stronger. I think we can come out the East, man. I'm not, you know, just saying that to say that. I mean, we got to set, you know, manifest, you know, and I believe that we can do that. But it's going to take a lot of work. It's not going to be easy. You know, it's a lot of great teams out there. So, you know, again, we got to focus on ourselves and take it one game at a time. But I think we got a great chance.
You say come out of the East, win the East?
Yeah, man, I'm not, like I said, I'm not putting no pressure on us. I don't think it's the only pressure that we put is what we put on ourselves. But that's the belief that I have in our team and the young group of guys and coaching staff that we have.
Can you talk about February 13th, the nationally televised game against Oklahoma City? When the schedule comes out, are you guys talking about that? Just how big it is? I know fans are making sure they pack out Amway that night, make sure they're heard. Have you put any thought to that?
Absolutely. I think we don't have enough televised games, but again, that comes with the work that we have to put in. You know, that's what I look at it as. You know, we have to come out and show that we're supposed to be on TV. But again, as long as we handle our business, I think everything, like I said, will put itself in place. But that's definitely a big game for us as far as, you know, being at home and being on TV and having people be able to see us and be able to showcase our talents. But again, I think our fans do a great job of coming out even though we're not on TV. You know, they show a great support. And I think we're going to continue to try to do our best to support them and play our hardest.
Okay, besides staying healthy, what's it going to take for you guys to get to the level that you're talking about?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's just being accountable, coming to work every day, you know, trying to get a little bit better every day. And I think the biggest thing, like I said, is holding each other's feet to the fire. You know, when you see somebody messing up or we see where someone can be better, not holding our tongue and speaking up on it. And I think that, again, also not making the same mistakes that we made last year, you know, learning from our mistakes, you know, not making less errors in play. And I think that's something that we're all ready for and we're mentally prepared for.
Where does that come from, the accountability? Is that a coach knows?
It's everybody. It's not just a coaching thing. It's players thing. It shouldn't just be the coaches, you know, holding us accountable. We should be able to hold each other accountable, be able to talk amongst each other. And that's when you know you have a good team and you have, you know, good leadership and chemistry, exactly. So I think that's where we're trying to get to right now, where it's not just only coaches getting on us, we're getting on each other before the coaches even get to us. So that's where we're at. Thank you guys. Yeah, appreciate it.
Gary Harris starring as Gary Harris.
Yes, yep. It's me in the flesh.
Gary, take us through what the summer was like for you. You know, as you prepped for another NBA season.
Summer was very long. So hopefully next summer is definitely not as long. So, but definitely just trying to, you know, stay on top of everything. You know, I really didn't get out of shape this summer. Just trying to stay active. You know, I came back here a little bit and just, you know, bounced around between here and Indiana, just working out.
You, as much as anyone, knows how important health is in this league, both as a player and with teams you've been on. For this team to be fully healthy entering training camp, just how big can that be for this group?
I think it's huge. You know, you see how we started last year. You know, with the injuries, I think it was like 5 and 20. You know, definitely not an ideal start. You know, Moses has done a great job. You know, preaching just, you know, recovery, taking care of our bodies. You know, not just how we're feeling right now, but how we're feeling, you know, come middle of January. So, you know, with this amazing facility we have, you know, the staff we have, I think, you know, guys are definitely taking the recovery and just, you know, not just like rehab, prehab, but just, you know, being able to stay on top of things. And, you know, I think everybody's growing up and taking that way more serious.
This way the team ended last season, you know, you've been part of it. I remember when you got here, you spoke about the kind of early stages of those Denver teams. Do you feel like this is a season where this group can take another step? Does it feel a little bit like the steps that you guys took?
100%. I feel like we have the potential to take, you know, a huge step. You know, health, it definitely plays a factor, but, you know, just maturity, growing up, and, you know, we don't want to keep using that excuse that we're a young team in this league. And, you know, I've been part of teams where it changes very quickly, where you go from, you know, not being in the playoffs to being a top 3 seed the whole season. So I think, you know, we're all looking forward to it. I feel like we're all excited. And, looking forward to getting out there and really just going out there to compete.
Having another veteran in Joe out there, how much is that going to help this team kind of learn that maturity and kind of go through the?
I think it's going to be huge. Joe, 10 years in this league. I've been playing against him, my whole NBA career. I see the type of value he brings to the team and the type of vet presence he can bring. He's such a smart player. He does all the things to help bring the team together. So, looking forward to Joe being a part of this organization and helping everybody, helping this whole team get to the playoffs.
Happy to have him as a teammate for a change.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good to have Joe as a teammate. Definitely being part of the same division, we had a lot of battles, a lot of playoff battles. So, it's definitely great to have him a part of the team now.
Some of your old teammates won a championship this summer. Does that validate your experience that you had there maybe a little bit, knowing that some of those guys got to win? Make you hungrier maybe?
I think it definitely does. Just like, just kind of the what if, you just never know. And just seeing, being able to see it from a distance, see all the hard work, especially like, a guy like Jamahl coming back from an ACL injury and to go in there and actually, help his team win one. Nikola and everything he does is, everybody knows how good of a player he is. So just to see them stick it through and, all the years of them getting close and the years making playoffs and to see them, stick through and make it, that's what it's all about. You never know what each year holds, but, we just got to keep going, keep fighting, and at the end of this year, hopefully, we can have the same type of story.
Does it make you want to apply maybe some of the things you learned in Denver into here?
I feel like we've already started to apply that as well, especially since I got over here, just trying to learn from my experiences over here to bring them over here. I think it just helps validate that, it comes fast. I don't think a lot of teams, you really expect them to win the whole thing last year, so it just shows you if you believe in yourself as a team, in this core group we have here and everybody in this building, you keep working hard and keep your head down and block out all the noise, anything is possible.
Health remains kind of the big goal for you, but what else do you want to see yourself improve on, and how do you see your role for this team this year?
I feel just like health has always been the biggest thing. My goal this year is just to, be as healthy as possible. Hopefully I can play, 82 games this year. That's my goal, and I would love to do that. And then being out there in that court, my job is to come out here and knock down shots and knock down three-pointers and shoot it at a high clip, and that's what I plan to do this year as well.
Gary, how important is it to get off on a right start there? You start the season at home and then go on the road, where this team struggled more on the road than they did at home considerably. So what is kind of the mindset?
It was that much bad on the that much worse on the road?
But you guys were, I think,
500 at home.
500 and
20 and 21 at home.
Well, we got to hold that down.
So how important is that to get off and you go right on the road? How important is that stretch going to be?
I think it's huge. I think it's very huge. It's obviously the biggest stretch of the season because it's the one coming up. But if we can go out there and really establish ourselves early, I think that'll be huge, especially for our confidence coming back home for the home stand and then going down to Mexico City. We have an opportunity to get off to a great start, but we have to be locked in. It's not going to be easy. But if we can get these games early, I think we'll be in great shape.
Gary, any thoughts on Markelle's new haircut?
I love it. He almost made me cut my hair. I'm thinking about cutting my hair now. We all just happy to be here in the same building as Markelle Fultz. He's an inspiration to us all, and I'm just happy to be his teammate, for real.
Any thought of doing what the Pacers did in the early 2000s, going clean shaven?
Like bald?
Yeah.
Nah.
It's like even Rick Spitz did it.
Nah, I ain't doing that. Nah. So I have to. So, but yeah, nah.
Gary, any thoughts about the new in-season tournament that the NBA is rolling out this season? Have you thought about it at all? Is it interest to you?
I think it's interesting. It's something new. I don't know how it's going to go just because, it's the first time we've ever done it. So I'm looking forward to it, and because it's part of the normal game, so it's like we're going through a normal schedule. So I'm interested to see how it plays out, but I think we're locked in, and that's a chance for us to go win it. I think that's what we're going to do as well. We're going to try to do that as well.
Yeah, thanks, Gary.
No doubt.
Appreciate Gary.
For sure.
Kevon, for you in particular, we saw you at Summer League. What have you been doing since then as you prepare for this upcoming campaign?
I would say just being around here, growing our chemistry with the team, obviously putting my work in. I'm a workhorse, so that's the norm for me. Just being here, growing our chemistry, getting ready for the season. working on what I need to improve on and getting ready.
Yeah, along those lines, how nice is it to have continuity, not only with the guys you're playing with, but coaching staff, organization? How nice is it to continue to stack years with an organization?
Man, it's amazing. It's amazing. I plan on being here for a long time, you know what I'm saying? So this is just year 2. You know, gonna keep building, keep working, and like I said, keep growing that chemistry and that unity here. So I'm loving it.
What makes this organization so special to you that you would want to, actually stay here for the rest of your career?
I would say just the brotherhood here, man. Like all of us, all my teammates, we're all close. You know what we're building here as well. You know, being a part of you know, the grittiness and just changing the narrative of the Magic. You know what I'm saying? Being a part of that is huge to me. So I take pride in it.
What was the biggest thing that you learned from playing last year and getting kind of that first taste of the NBA?
Biggest thing I would say just some experience. You know, having some experience in the NBA with the Orlando Magic, how they do things, and you know, kind of adding my own spin to it. So that's been great. Just being a sponge, pretty much. You know, gaining all I can get, and obviously this summer, you know, paying attention to what I need to work on and this and that. And I'm planning on making that big leap this year.
Kevon, you spent a lot of time this summer with the rookies, AB and Jett, obviously Summer League, but also here in Orlando. What do you think Magic fans can expect from them? What have you seen from them this summer that kind of gets you excited?
Man, they're great kids, great dudes. That one thing they're going to do is compete. You know what I'm saying? They blend well with the team, so I would say they're going to be great pieces of what we're doing. I know Jett's going to definitely add some shooting to the team, AB, some playmaking, defensive end. So they're going to fit right in, and I'm excited to play with them.
Coach talks a lot about earning your minutes, and how does that feel as a two-way player, knowing you're coming in and you can compete for your spot on the roster?
Oh man, that's everything. You know, that's all I'm looking for, the opportunity, and I'm gonna keep seasoning. You know, just keep proving myself every day, and you know, not only proving to everybody, but proving to myself, and just keep showing the way for all the underdogs, and you know, keep going. So that's it.
You know, for you in particular, you know what the G League experience is like for the team to now have it a little bit closer in Osceola, and to be practicing at an Amway Center and all that stuff. Just how nice is it for that particular experience, especially when you're a player who's going back and forth?
Yeah, that's great. That Lakeland drive is tough, especially on game day. So it's great, you know, and everybody, you know, blends everybody a little bit more. You know, seeing everybody face, you know, that's always underrated value. You know what I'm saying? And being able to move, however, you know, easier and stuff like that. And Osceola, we have a lot of great guys as well. So you know. Yeah, I'm kind of just excited, kind of overwhelmed, and just ready to play at this point. Yeah.
How you plan on taking what you learned from the guards here in Orlando, taking that to Osceola, and helping share the knowledge of what you've learned in Orlando? How important is that for Osceola?
It's huge. It's huge because we all have goals on continuing and progressing forward, and especially trying to come up with the Magic. For those guys, for all of us. It's huge just to show the culture that we're trying to build here, what we're trying to, everything new that we're putting into place, and just changing the narrative and just making sure that they're aligned as well. So that's been a big part of what I've been trying to do, and even though it's Summer League and it's everything last year and the past month or so, it's been great.
Magic have a few guys on Exhibit 10 contracts, here from training camp. Have you gone up against any of them? Do you have any stories for any of those guys? Any connections at all?
Yeah, man. So me and DJ, we played in Toronto a little bit together. So me and DJ already have a little chemistry right there. Summer League, obviously. Be well, played him a couple times in the G League. I've seen him play a lot. Matt, he's going to be an exciting player this year. So we have some great guys, and I know they're going to compete. I know they have my back, just like they know I have theirs. So we're ready for war.
Appreciate it, Keith.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
How you doing? How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. We obviously saw you in Summer League this year, but since then, what have you been working on as you prep for your second season in the NBA?
Yeah, just trying to get stronger. I think just being more consistent with my jump shot, working on shooting off the move, different footwork, different types of shots. That's kind of been the main focus.
How much more prepared do you feel for an NBA season at this time this year as compared to this time last year?
Yeah, I think definitely a lot more prepared. I mean, obviously last year I didn't really know like what I was getting into, haven't really been through it. So I think just having that comfortability, just being able to know that I've been through a year and kind of knowing what to expect definitely calms some nerves and makes you a little more confident going into training camp for sure.
What's your early impressions of Anthony and Jett so far?
Yeah, I mean they're great on the court, really good dudes. Off the court, just being able to talk to them and chop it up with them since they've been drafted, it's been really good. I think on the court, it's really good players, really good young guys. I mean, Jett being able to shoot the ball, create his own shot. AB just being another dude that's fun to play with, getting dudes involved, defending. I think they're really going to help us a lot.
Did you have any prior relationship with Jett, going back to Michigan or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, me and Jett, we played each other in high school, and then he was always at Michigan when I was there, so I knew him. Obviously, chopped it up there a little bit, so yeah, I knew him before this for sure.
What's the biggest thing that you learned from your first NBA season from going through that?
That's a good question. I think just like the length of the season, just being able to make sure your body is good, and I think also mentally, just like 82 games, traveling, getting in late. I feel like just having like another outlet that's not basketball or just something to do, so not all your time to just focus on basketball mentally. I think it's big to kind of just get away for a little bit so that you can always come back to it. I think that's what I kind of learned. Have something on the side, you know what I mean?
The way this team finished last season, going 29-28, the last 57 games, is there a different energy about this group entering training camp this year as opposed to maybe last year? Just knowing what you guys were in the fight to the end of the season.
Yeah, I think definitely. Like you said, I think it's like a really good group of guys, like experienced guys and also young guys who are ready to come and work. Guys that really mess with each other. So I think that's a big thing too, and I think we do really good things over here.
We talked to Coach earlier about earning your minutes and how there's enough people on the roster that can do that. How does it make you feel as someone who, if you can compete in this training camp to earn your spot in the rotation in the roster?
Yeah, I think just like you said, just coming in every day, working hard and doing my job, not doing too much, just being myself. You know what I mean? Coming in and working, and then I think things will take care of itself in that way.
Caleb, has there been any talk amongst the teammates or group chats or whatever about the in-season tournament and the implications you guys are putting on yourselves for that?
I mean, I feel like a few guys have mentioned it, but like nothing too crazy. I don't really know too much about it, to be honest. But yeah.
What's your main takeaway from your first NBA offseason?
I think main takeaway, it's probably like the longest stretch I had without like organized basketball in a while, because usually you go like college straight to like pre-draft, or like high school you got AAU. So I think just kind of taking that time, just to really, how much time you got to really work on your game, you know what I mean? That's probably the biggest takeaway, just being able to lock in for those months. I think that was really good for me.
Caleb, 5 other players, including yourself, from Michigan. What's it mean to be able to play with guys who also played in that system?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, you share something with them, and a lot of those guys, like I knew prior, so it helps being more comfortable, and just guys you already know. I think that helped a lot last year, actually. But it's always great to have some blue on the team for sure.
Thanks, dude.
Did you get Papa John's last year, though, after we won a game? It's half off every time we win it.
No, I didn't. I didn't even know about that, to be honest.
There you go, see?
Now that I know, I might go over that. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thank you. What's up, Wells?
So much. Jay, obviously we talked to you a lot during summer league. You know, what have the last couple months been like for you, and how have you gotten ready for the start of the season and training camp?
I mean, it's been good. Just learning the system, getting close with the guys, and it's been a pretty fun experience so far. And I just can't wait to get ready and out there for training camp.
You know, to come in with another rookie like AB, how much have you two leaned on each other, and and how is that experience going through it with somebody else?
We lean on each other a lot. We live in the same building, so just having them there and having somebody like around your age and going through the same transitional process has made it that much easier. And we've got closer through time as well. So it's been good.
Coming into camp, Jeff and Coach have said that you and AB and the younger guys are going to fight for your minutes. Is that a challenge that you're up for here?
For sure. I feel like on all levels I had to do that. So just you want that at the end of the day, just being an environment that's for that and a culture that's for that instead of just kind of something given to you. So I think that's big on the Magic for saying.
And what are some of your expectations for yourself during the season?
Honestly, just being somebody that can be an Army Swiss knife. Oh, he broke the jingle. But to be somebody that is like an Army Swiss knife, anything they need, and I'm here for it, anything. So make shots, defend, pass, rebound, anything.
Sounds like a lot of you guys have been in here recently, the last few weeks or so. What's it kind of been like to get on the court together and start kind of building that chemistry?
Everything's been pretty smooth. You know, a lot of these guys played with each other for years. So it was just on me and AB and Mac and some of the new guys to kind of, get on that. So and Joe. So it's been good. He's coming off some BS right now, but I'm surprised he didn't come over here and say nothing crazy. But.
Plenty of time for that.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice maybe you've gotten from teammates, from coaches, from maybe your dad about what to expect this rookie season?
How old are you today, brother? 40? I'm sorry, what'd you say?
What's the best piece of advice that you've gotten to help you prepare for your rookie season, whether it be from a teammate, from the coaches, from your dad? What's a
Joe, he said just shoot that thing. That's the best advice I got so far. Just shoot that thing.
Jett, coming into your rookie season, you're going to face obviously all 2019. So are there any certain stars, certain players, one or two, that you're really interested, looking forward to coming up against?
Probably playing some of the dudes in my class. I went to high school with Keontae and Jairus, and just seeing them in this new stage of our careers is probably going to be the coolest thing, I'd say. Probably seeing them.
Thanks, Jett.
No problem. No problem.
Thank you.
By the way,
Someone record it. I know you all got recording devices. Better start singing, otherwise I ain't giving no interviews.
Dear Joe, happy birthday to you.
I'm not answering any question. Anyone who didn't sing isn't getting an answer.
Were you allowed to air that song? Is it still copyrighted?
that's on you guys. I have no part of that.
Joe, since we haven't talked to you in this type of setting since you joined Orlando, what really stood out to you about this opportunity and joining this franchise?
A lot of different things. I think for me, as you get older, and I'm not purely picking where I want to play basketball. Obviously, that's a part of it. But having my wife and kids, and our oldest son especially, who's on the spectrum and starting school now. One of the things, obviously, my agent knew straight away was that I wasn't going anywhere where there wasn't a school for Jacob. So that does limit it a fair bit. But there was a great opportunity here, obviously, with school. Obviously, the living side of it speaks for itself, as you all probably know. And then having a bit of a relationship with Coach, kind of getting to know him over the last few years through some mutual connections, and playing against this team the last few years and how they've been kind of trending upwards and the way they play. And just all of that kind of combined in was a pretty easy decision in the end of it, even though that seemed like it was a lot of things. It ended up being a pretty easy decision.
You've only been here for a short time, but just from seeing your interaction with the other guys and Coach, it seems you've integrated very well. How much have you felt that kind of like family-like atmosphere here, even in your short time?
Yeah, I'm going to integrate myself regardless, whether you like it or not. It's been cool. I think it's probably one of the only teams I've been on where I really didn't know anyone as well. So to obviously knowing Coach a little bit and playing against guys for a few years, but to come in here and obviously talking to Coach prior to coming in on the group they had and the camaraderie they already had, and having two little immature teenagers that they drafted, very easy to come into a situation like that, and especially when you know kind of what they've been doing and where they're trying to go, and the direction Coach has got them kind of heading in. really good group of guys, and like I said, kind of getting to know. I've only been here a couple of weeks, but just getting to know them through those couple of weeks it's been awesome. And I mean, just this couple of weeks here, it's clear I've made the right decision for myself and for the family.
You've been on a lot of teams that have kind of taken that step in the playoffs. How important is it to have a player like yourself, a veteran, who can kind of impart wisdom and just kind of integrate yourself in the race?
About wisdom. Yeah, I mean, and I think that's where, even last year, playing for a great team, we played really well, and you lose in there's so many things that can happen. It's so hard to win in this league, and I was never going to base my decision on like trying to win a championship. It was about the best situation for me and my family, and like I said, just seeing the group, and then obviously knowing that it is a younger group, and luckily or not, I've been around a fair bit. I've played a lot of basketball. I've played on really good teams. I've played on some average teams, and bringing those experiences to these guys on the daily basis, to kind of understanding what it takes to win. I've been lucky enough to win 50 plus games for a number of years, and that's hard to do. Like, it's hard to do in this league, and taking the right steps, I guess, on a daily basis to get that. And obviously with coach, it's a great voice of leading that, and I think for me to be able to kind of echo that from a player's point of view instead of just from a coach or front office is important for me to do. Not the other guys, they can go play, and I think I've got a good balance of being able to be that leader, but still obviously do what I need to do on the court.
So you talked about the team's sort of upward trajectory over the course of the last couple of years. Can you just talk about how maybe the perception of this team has been changing around the league?
Yeah, I said it to coach, and he shut me down a little bit at the day that they, like, my thing to him was like, regardless of what point of like, they always played so hard. It was, and it's impressive, like 1 through whoever played, whether he played 9 or 10, and then obviously now coming here and seeing how hard the guys work on a daily basis, whether it's in the gym or having 90% of the team here for however since I've been here. It's pretty impressive. Like, it's a rare thing, and I think a part of that now, like, playing hard is one thing, and it's great to play hard, but you've also got to play the right way and play to win, and the little details of what I was saying is can turn the season around pretty quickly. If you can play hard, but if you're playing hard but stupidly, then you're not going to win many games. So they've got to play hard, like that's what they do, but now we've got to turn that into wins. And obviously the slow start last year and towards the end of the year, they showed what a team they could be. And obviously for me and the group now, it's about kind of continuing that and pushing forward even more.
Joe, you're one of the few people on this roster that played in the World Cup this summer.
Don't bring the World Cup.
But how does that change your fitness going into the season? Does it help it maybe a little bit? Is there a little less rust that you got to dust off before you go in?
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. Like, obviously, Mo and Franz went a bit longer than we did and have only just got back. So like you're trying to juggle. Obviously, that's for the performance staff. It's not for me to. But you are trying to juggle. They've played for 2 months now. I think for me personally, it's always good to have that, like, those game reps under your belt instead of just playing pickup. Or, I mean, you guys have seen what they post on social media and some of those, like, it's not the greatest, but it's good to get up and down, but you're really not, for the guys that we did play, like, you're playing great basketball, you're playing against great teams, obviously. I hate every other team that beat us, so that's enough of the World Cup.
Where do you feel physically? I know you're still kind of coming back from the ACL from a few years ago. How do you feel physically, and where do you feel like you can take your individual games?
Yeah, I started to feel really good at the end of the Milwaukee season. Obviously that stopped a lot shorter than we anticipated, and I guess it was a bit of a weird time for me because I was still kind of coming back from that. Had a bit of time off, spent the summer in LA to get ready for the World Cup, and felt really good to going into that. Had a couple injuries in the first game of that probably slowed my upper body down a little bit, but my knee feels great, fitness level feels great. I've been able to kind of do everything since having a couple of days off since the World Cup, and I think now it's just about getting those game reps. And for me, really, it's like playing with a new group. It's more about learning, like, how they play individually and as a team. Coach has been great at kind of watching some film on the side of just trying to get the understanding of it. But I think that's one of the hardest parts, is coming to a new team, especially when 90% of the team is the same. So it's me really just trying to get on the same page as them.
Whatever your, I know you gave Jett. That's cool. I know you gave Jett a little bit of flack and interrupted his interview earlier, but
He probably wasn't talking anyway, was he? Probably gave you like 2-word answers.
What have your impressions been of him and Anthony so far in your time here?
Yeah, I mean they've been here. Is that serious? I mean, they fit in with the culture of how hard they work and the effort they put in on a daily basis. I'm not afraid to say I don't watch college basketball, so I didn't know them coming out. I actually did laugh at AB's hair when he first got drafted and didn't realise at the time I'd play with him a couple months later, but I was like, surely someone could have told him to clean it up a little. But no, great kids. They play the right way, they play hard, they've been in here working. I think obviously with every rookie there's like a transition period of how different the game is, and again, playing pick up here or whatever is very different to playing in an NBA game. But both bring different things. I think both will help the group tremendously. So, well done to Jeff or whoever picks him. Jeff, well done, Jeff.
What are your thoughts on the in-season tournament? Obviously, been in the league for a while. Now, for this to get thrown in, how important is the in-season tournament, do you think, and how seriously do you think teams take it?
I mean, I think they'll take the money side of it serious, right? Like if you're going to get some, I think if you incentivize anything in the NBA with money, you guys will play hard. So. It'll be different. Like obviously it's the first time. It'll be a different experience, but and I don't fully understand how it goes, so I'm not going to try and talk too much about it so I don't ruin it. But like it's going to bring meaning to some games. It's obviously there at the end of the day too. When it gets to that end, like whatever the end knockout part, guys are going to be playing to win. Partly because they want the money. Partly that's what we do. Like we're here to compete. We're here to play the right way, and so we'll see how it goes. There'll probably be some bumps along the road as everything the first time, but it'll be exciting to play, and hopefully you can win it so I can buy some new toys.
Joe, do they have blooming onions in Australia?
You knew there was going to be one silly Australian question. I mean, I guess so. I've never had one. What is it? Just a fried onion, right? Yeah. I mean, you've got them here.
With the delicious sauce.
You've got.
I'm thinking about traveling for the good stuff.
You go have some Vegemite or something. But you can go to whatever. They have Outback Steakhouse here. Go there. It's probably.
Do. A couple locations.
See, you should be a promoter for Outback Steakhouse.
Joe, you mentioned you played on 50-win teams that had expectations of going deep into the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're coming to a franchise that hasn't been close to 50 wins in a long time. What would you tell these guys if you could do like one or two things between the step they're at and the step they want to be at 50?
I think honestly, I think it's a lot of the small details. Like I think there's like the schedule is the schedule, the travel, like they're the uncontrollable things that we can't dictate. But we can dictate how we show up to every game, how hard we play, knowing the scout, knowing who we're playing. And in close games, in back-to-backs, 4 and 6, or whatever the schedule is, like those things make a difference. If you can, the other teams that we're playing are going through the same thing. Obviously, they're in whatever their schedule is and tired. And I think if you can really lock in on those small details, you can kind of sneak a few extra wins. And like I said, like winning in this league is hard, regardless. Really, the best team roster or the worst quote-unquote roster. It's hard to win in this league. So any advantage with the details, I think, Coach, the few weeks I've been here, obviously on like the recovery side of it, and getting ready, like there's so many things that go into this, and the young guys at times probably feel like they don't need to sleep or rest as much, but it does catch up to you in January, February, and then if you do want to be in the playoffs, it's a long year. So I think those small things can make a huge difference.
And you're going to have injuries.
Yeah, I mean that's a part of our sport. Unfortunately, I've been through it. There's guys that have been through it. Obviously, as you get older, you learn to manage yourself and your body, and you start to understand what you need to do. And guys will learn that. But I mean, from being here and even with my knee prior to coming here, a part of our discussion was obviously the medical side of it. And obviously heard nothing but great. And now being here, it's a great group. So obviously they manage that part, but obviously, like you guys know, some things are out of our control with injuries. But we've also got a deep young team that guys can step up whenever needed. So be fun.
Everyone good?
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
First and last to you. Hey, what's poppin'?
How much? Good to see you.
Good to see you. How good does it feel to come into a camp completely healthy and hopefully be the last time we ask you about injuries or anything along those lines?
It feels great. It feels great. You guys know it's been a few years since I've been able to just start a season fully healthy, since the team has been able to start a season fully healthy even outside of me. So, to be in day one of training camp, I've been playing with the guys all summer, and so I'm just extremely excited.
Health is a big thing in this league to start off hot. Continuity is a big thing in this league. Right now, you guys have both of them. How rare has that been for you over the course of the career, and how important could it be for this group potentially getting off to a good start this season?
Yeah, well, y'all know it's been rare for me. In terms of now, it's like, we have all the pieces to go. We have the size, the versatility. So we got everything. So I'm excited.
How important was it to just get back on the floor last year? I know it's shorter than you wanted.
Right.
But how important was it to just take that step and know that, like, hey, I can still hold my own on this court?
Yeah, honestly, I've always known. I've always known that no matter what happens, I know the player that I am, and if I can just get my butt on the floor, then I'm gonna be okay, and in my head, we'll be okay. And so, to have gone a full summer of being able to play, being able to bang, and like, I feel better now than I did even in those stint of 10 or 11 games. And so, I'm excited. I'm ready. The team is ready, and why not us?
At what point during the summer were you able to get back to 100%? Really do everything?
Honestly, the injury was only 6 weeks, and so from the time of me, getting the surgery and everything, it was 6 weeks, and I was back running. And for the last month and a half, I would say, I've been playing with the guys and running up and down.
Jay, what are some of your goals for this season for yourself?
For myself, honestly, just to showcase, everything that I have. I know that, everyone knows me as a defensive, player and phenom. I feel that I have so much more to offer, just from a versatility standpoint and on the offensive end, and just as a leader. Like I'm excited, and I know you guys know I'll be ready to lock up, day one, and excited for that journey.
You're wearing your judo ones there. You talked on a recent podcast. You worked with Soulworks to go through the process of creating the shoe. Can you talk about some of the technical elements of this specific shoe that were important to you going through that process?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that question. So it's the Unitas Judo One. I've been wearing it all summer. So from a technical standpoint and being able to hold up, and I've had some other guys check them out and wear them. It's sound. It's a highly built shoe. Ex-Nike and Adidas guys, helped me build it. And I think the biggest standout for me is, it having a Bible verse on it. And so this shoe is called Triumph. It has 2 Corinthians 4:9. Persecuted but not abandoned, struck down but not destroyed. I think that's so important to just me personally, with just the injuries that I've had and the road that I've taken, that I'm still here, I'm still kicking and ready to play. And so, it'll be dropping early November, so check out the Judo One.
I think you're the longest tenured player on the team now. You're one of the few guys with playoff experience too. How important is that experience of going through a playoff race and being part of a team that had to rally to make the playoffs? How important is that to help this team kind of get over that?
It's huge, and I'm not the only guy with playoff experience. We got Joe now, we got Gary. It's huge. When I remember my first playoff experience, it was like deer in the headlights of like, what the heck was that? I remember we won our first game in Toronto, and I was like, we have to do that 3 more times. Like, just the exhaustion, the attention to detail, the just everything. And so being able to, once we hit that point, which we will, being able to instill that in guys and be a sounding board for understanding and peace and weathering the storm.
What's in terms of like minutes restriction, game restrictions, what does that look like for you at the start of the season?
Honestly, I have no idea. I honestly, from my standpoint, I wouldn't think I have any. Just with where I am as just right now, body feeling wise, and coach has seen me play throughout the summer, so I don't know what the Magic plans are, his plans, but from my perspective, whatever they throw at me, I'm ready to go.
Have you put any thought into what your role is going to be this year? They talked about playing at the 4, some backup 5.
You know, I'm not sure. We'll figure that out as we go. I know that, you know, Coach has things to figure out with lineups and how that works. I understand that I haven't been a part of what has been going on a full scale, so I'm not somebody that's like, hey, you know, I need to have this, need to have that. I'm going to get in where I fit in. I know what I can bring to this team, and so, you know, I'm best used on the floor, so we'll see.
Is this the highest ceiling for any team that you've been on since you've been here? And how does it feel to be part of such an optimistic team going into the season?
You know, I would say, yeah. You know, with Vooch, AG, and, you know, Evan, we definitely had our sights set on, you know, going farther, having that experience and that, you know, veteran leadership with them. But I think we're young. We have so much size. We have so much versatility. And even with that team, we had holes. Outside of experience, I don't see holes from a talent perspective on this team. I think we've got everything that we need, and we'll be able to give teams the run for their money, just like we did last year. You know, we fared well against Boston, we fared well against other teams, and so having everybody ready to go is going to be huge.
You're obviously on the floor for a little bit of that run at the end of the season, but you're still kind of around the team at the end. How much do you feel like that momentum from how the team finished the season last year carried over into the offseason and into training camp?
I think so, and it's just you don't know what you don't know. So being able to line up with those teams and be like, oh my gosh, you know, we can play. You know, we can play with the best of them and give teams we thought we were coming in here for the old magic, but it's not that. And so I'm excited and ready to continue to showcase that.
Jay, I can ask you about your faith. You've gone through multiple injuries and disappointment over and over again. Yeah. Grow us each one. So how strong is your faith now, having done that?
Well, even from saying like how strong is my faith, I would say you just grow. You learn a different perspective. You know, for me, it's like you learn that God is not just the God of the hills, but He's the God of the valleys too. You learn a different perspective about who He is, and then understanding that He sees the end from the beginning. And at the end of the day, me being back to this point to be able to play, it speaks to His faithfulness and me trusting in Him, and I'm just continuing to ready to move forward.
35th anniversary for the team this year. What's been your favorite memory with the Magic?
My favorite memory with the Magic, I would say that playoff series, you know, going against Toronto and being right there in that game 3 to continue to, you know, push on the series. And so I'm ready to get back to that feeling, that moment of, you know, it being win or go home and that excitement.
Jonathan, did you even recognize Markelle when he walked in with that new hair?
I think I've seen Markelle with no hair before. And so, yeah, you know, Markelle's great. You know, you can tell he means business, and so we'll be ready to rock.
Thank you, everyone.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Good.
Just take us through, you know, the decision coming to Orlando, you know, and what this opportunity could mean to you.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, free agency had a couple situations, and you know, looked at this one and thought it'd be best. And so far, everybody's been great. Super excited to get going in training camp and trying to prove myself.
You know, for people who haven't watched your whole game at a close level, what are some of the things you feel you could bring to this organization?
I think for one and two, I'm a competitor and a winner. I think any team could use that, and I think, you know, I'm a shot maker. Last year in the G League, I had like 48% from three. You know, someone that can make shots and compete and help win.
What's the challenge of taking, you know, the success that you've had in the G League and bringing it to the NBA? I know you haven't gotten a ton of NBA opportunities, but what's the challenge in going from the G League level into the NBA?
Yeah, I think one, just staying resilient, staying, you know, grateful to play the game of basketball, and I think it's a different pace, it's a different game for sure, but just I think reps and experience kind of help with that, and just being ready when your name is called for sure.
How much did how much did the dunk contest kind of energize you? What did that do for you to kind of get your name out there and kind of show people a little bit what you can do on the court outside of the dunk contest?
It was really cool. I think that whole year was really special, and we ended up winning the G League, and just those group of guys were great, and it did open some doors, and you know, my family was there. Something we all got to experience, and it was really cool.
I know it's down the line, but are you willing to go back to the All-Star game, defend your title possibly?
That's a great question. We'll see. I think I'm definitely I'm open to it. I've talked to them a little bit about it, so I don't want to confirm anything or get in trouble saying anything, but we'll just see. We'll see what happens.
Mac, what was it about the situation here in Orlando that was most appealing to you and you decided to come here?
Yeah, I mean, I think you never really know how something's going to be, but once I got here, I was just so impressed with, like, from the GMs to the coaches. Everybody is so personable and kind and respectful. It's just it just says a lot about this organization, really.
Is there any players so far that you've kind of attached yourself to converse and ask about the organization and tips about the game?
Yeah, I think really everybody has been so welcoming. I mean, from the star players to the people that are working their way up. I think everybody's very, no one acts out of character. Everyone is really hardworking, really respectful, and it's just like you can tell there's a great camaraderie and a great family aspect about this place.
Coach Mosley's talked about the kind of internal competition that's going to be expected. Do you feel that there is this fire to compete against each other, make each other better, and kind of the workouts that you've done with the group so far?
Absolutely. I think it's a very competitive group, and I'm a competitive person myself. So, that always brings out the best of people. So that's what we play the game for.
Mac, I know you got a lot of pride in your roots, Southwest Virginia, Gate City, all that. Kind of tell Magic fans what's special about that part of the country and kind of how it's formed you into the person that you are.
Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky to grow up there, I think, and I got to live in the big cities as well. So just going from there, nothing really matters about your money or your car, just like how you treat people and your connections and respect with people. So that kind of helped me mold, I think, into the person that I'm trying to become.
Good deal. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Man, how you doing? You doing all right?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Coach, I know how much work your staff puts in the off season. You obviously were doing USA basketball men's select team. How was this summer for you, and what did you guys focus on in order to prep for this moment as you guys tip off training camp this year?
Well, I really think it came down to just detailing our work. That's the point of the continuity of bringing everybody back. Same staff, same players, adding Joe, adding AB, adding Jett. I think us being able to do that, we were able to detail the work a lot more, so you're ahead of the game in so many ways. So now you're not repeating yourself when it comes to a lot of the teaching points. The guys understand what we need, what we want, how we're going to play. I think that's so important. So that was a lot of the summer.
Well, what did you get out of all of being around Team USA and overseas and international play? What did you get out of it as far as your coaching?
Well, it was such a humbling experience to be around such great coaches and great players. Just watching how they worked every day, the level of humility and that they walked in the coaches' meetings with, being able to be around that group that just poured into those players as well as poured into each other, being willing to share information about the game, about the experiences, being vulnerable enough to communicate those things, but also competitive enough to know that you're going to battle each other throughout the year. I thought that was special.
How exciting was it to see Franz and Paolo square off with an immune game?
I thought it was so great for them to go against each other. Obviously Franz and Mo, come away with the victory, and so happy and proud of them for what they did this summer. But it was great to see our young guys being able to be on the court at the same time, competing at a high level, same way we're about to compete every day in practice.
We saw Coach Kerr in USA basketball implement Paolo a lot, like the small ball five. Have you had any conversations with Paolo about implementing him in a similar role this season?
Well, the great part about that with Paolo is, he took away from it being able to play multiple positions. And we had done that early in the year last year, where he was at the point at some games. But I think this is just a different look and a great look for him to be able to see the game from all sides.
What did you learn about Paolo and playing with Team USA?
I think his ability, and what we've known about him already, was his ability to adjust to whatever's going on, to do whatever's necessary to try to help win games. And we've known that about him since the moment we drafted him, that he's willing and able to adjust to whatever's needed for the sake of the team.
can you compare how you feel today versus how you felt a year ago? You know, Paolo's got a full year under his belt. Markelle's been healthy. The team is as healthy as it's ever been since you've been here. How do you feel going into this training camp versus how you felt a year or even 2 years ago?
I mean, every year you walk in excited about the team and the style of play, the level of play. I mean, I think my first scrum probably I wasn't as calm as I am now. But it is actually great to see these guys mature and see their level of excitement, their level of camaraderie that you've just seen grow over time. I think that's what I am most excited about. Other than getting on the practice court tomorrow all together, healthy, I think it's just being able to see this group's excitement and joy for one another.
Can you describe how that camaraderie is going to help you guys going forward into the season especially?
Well, just like Dan had asked, I think there's something to be said about keeping a group together, whether that's coaches and players. Just being able to communicate quickly. You're not having to catch people up to speed. Now, once you've walked into it, these guys know exactly what they're going to hear from our coaches, the things that we're teaching, how they're expected to play, the things that we're demanding. I think they understand that a lot more now. So I think that's a huge advantage for us of knowing what to expect.
Jeff said, Anthony and Jett are going to have to come in and fight for the minutes, as you said in the past as well. Just what are your expectations on them entering training camp? And how do they sort of separate themselves from those roles in your mind?
Well, first, it's their journey. Obviously, it's going to get acclimated to how we do things, and they've done a great job of working over the summer and understanding what we're asking. But defensively, that's going to be the first thing. How do you sit down and guard? Can you come in and compete against these guys every single day? And I think they've taken that challenge on, which I really admire how these guys have worked and how they've come together.
The team got kind of a little bit of a taste of what the playoff races like last year. How much did that experience motivate guys throughout the offseason to get over the hump and try and make the playoffs a thing this year? How do you approach that what needs to be done together?
Well, Philip, to your point, I really think that you can't skip steps. And I think when you try to skip steps, you have to find the experiences. And I think going for that playoff run gave them part of that experience. So we as coaches can say over and over again what it takes, but when you feel it real time and how important these games are, now you understand how hard you have to work, to get certain things done.
Speaking of the playoff goals and aspirations, are you going to treat this new in-season tournament sort of as a preview for what they're playing?
I think that I love the play-in, the in-season tournament. I think it's great for our guys from that competitive edge. We're going to walk into each game, each practice the same way. How we've talked about we're going to do our work every day. We're going to compete at a high level. We're going to detail our work, and we're going to enjoy being around each other every single day. So that's just on a day-to-day basis. And whatever the result is from there, we're going to, we enjoy that.
Everyone good here? One more?
Yeah, go ahead. Appreciate that. There's a lot of talent on this team, and that means there's a lot of mouths to feed. Can you speak to your philosophy or organizational philosophy on how to get everybody ample opportunity to prove themselves?
And that's the great part about this team is that we said we're going to compete, and we're going to compete. So every day we walk into practice, we're going to compete. So how do they get guys ample opportunities? They compete for their minutes, they compete for their time, they compete to make each other better. And I think that's the great part about the talent on this team, and they all understand that, which is great.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Chuma. What up? How's it going? Good. How you doing? Good.
I need to balance it for the other side.
See a bunch of red lights. Chuma, how was the off season for you? What were some of the areas you focused on to get ready for this upcoming season?
I feel like I had a good off season this season. Stayed in the gym. I was mainly in Orlando. Great facility to be in, so why not? First of all, but I just focused on my shooting. Getting the small details down, the little small errors. The smallest things that I could correct. Just focusing on those small details.
How do you feel health-wise as you get ready into this campaign?
I feel real good health-wise. We just gotta the new strength coach, Arnie, came in, so he changed a lot of things, and he just really showing us how to take care of our bodies and showing us what we really need. And so health-wise, I feel fantastic.
You were on that trip to Colorado. How important was it to kind of go out there, maybe do something different, reset a little bit, get to know Anthony and Jett and some of you guys on the team?
Yeah, that was a fun trip. We had AB out there, and we had Jett, and we had Kevon out there too. So that was a good trip just to see the views out there, up there where Arnie from. Everybody out there cool too. Like it's just like a cool, easy-going town. Good mountains, good mountain views. And then just come back to Orlando, you feel me? It's just like two different sceneries, so it was cool.
You're entering a contract here. Does that weigh on your mind at all as you're trying to make your way through the season? How do you approach kind of the uncertainty of free agency in the offseason?
Yeah, of course it weighs on my mind just because it's just natural, it's just the nature of it for real. So, but how I get back to the center is just like I love playing basketball. So whatever happens is gonna happen. I just got to control what I can control and just leave it at that.
You guys don't really have a slow start to the season. You have the one game at home, then you guys are out on the road, 4-game road trip. How important is it for this team to get off to a better start this season with the tough schedule at the start?
It's always important to get off to a good start, but even if we don't, last year we didn't get off to a real good start, but, towards the middle end, we kind of picked it up a little bit. So, hopefully we can start off how we ended off last year, but, it's always, like you say, it's always important to get off to a good start. But if we don't, we know how to pick it back up. And, teams this year, we're going to have that slump. Everybody going to have that little slump. But it's just a matter of how long the slump lasts and how quick we can pick it back up.
How different?
You said, do I got any goals? Yeah, some of my goals is to, just hoop, stay healthy, take care of my body, and the rest will take care of itself. I feel like if I just stay healthy, get a whole year healthy, then the rest will take care of itself.
You guys were 4 games, 5 games, something from the plan last year. Obviously, made a step forward. Just what are some of the internal expectations that you got, the players have kind of put on your system? Playoffs, or what are you guys aiming for this season?
I feel like every season we aiming to the highest. At least I am. But I feel like us as a team too, we aiming for that highest. We want to win a championship. We want to go to the playoffs. We want to do all that. But at the end of the day, it starts where we at right now in the practice gym. And how we compete with each other in there, how we perform in there is just going to lead to the outcome of whatever we want, whatever that will be, whatever that look like. So that's what it is.
Good deal. Thanks, Chuma.
Right, appreciate you.
Thanks, Chuma. How's it going, Sco?
It's going good. How you doing?
Good. Sco, just take us through, what you've been going on, since kind of summer league, like all that stuff. I think you made an appearance there. We saw you, but since then, what have you been up to?
A lot of Pilates, yoga, just getting healthy for the season, preparing myself for the long season. For me, my role is a lot different than guys. I pretty much back up every position but point guard. So for me, it's just, being as healthy as possible, being in the best shape as I can be, but being the best leader I can be this year as well. So just doing a lot of stuff to get my mind right. We got a great roster this year, and guys that have been really intentional about their work. So for me, it's just about really paying attention and getting to know guys even more, especially the new guys, so I can be the best leader I can be. But for this year, we just got to be a lot more intentional, hold each other accountable, communicate at a higher level in the sense of, getting on guys and holding them to the standard that Coach Mose wants to play to. And we totally understand that, we were right on the brink of being the team we kind of wanted to be last year. We gave away some games we shouldn't have, but we know this year is going to take a lot more consistency in those things. Letting each other know when we're not playing like ourselves, that we're better than that, and controlling our narrative in the sense of going out and just being present, taking advantage of every game. So we've been working on that this summer, coming in and really being locked in every day on the weight room, our recovery, our workouts out here. So it's been translating a lot, and I think everybody's just excited to get to practice tomorrow.
So you've been through the G League experience side of things. For the team now to have moved to Osceola, be a little bit closer, doing some practice, at the Amway Center. Just how much can that closer integration help for guys going through that experience?
You know, in this last year, you know, because last year they made the move up here to be practicing, you just saw a lot more camaraderie from the NBA team and the G League team. Guys really being more integrated, learning from each other, being able to compete during camp and little opportunities that they get. But, you know, this year, even our G League roster is amazing. We got really good guys, really good dudes that are going to be good in the community for Orlando, but also on the floor. But I think the biggest thing is, I mean, those guys came right in and they've made it very competitive this summer and helped us get better. And, you know, I'm really excited to be on both levels this year because of both rosters. You know, we have a lot of talent. But I think the biggest thing, like I said, is just we're healthy. We're healthy, we're together. We've had a lot more time together this summer. But more importantly, we're a lot more refreshed and just so much more excited for this season to begin. You know.
What went into the decision to come back on the two-way contract when you got to the regular contract at the end of last season?
Well, mainly my role. You know, I mean, contract is one thing, but the role I actually have on the team is different. I'm a leader on this team. Guys look to me. Guys look up to me. Guys look at me for direction. So for me, it's just like, you know, maybe it's not the guaranteed years or this and that, but this is a great organization. It's where I want to be. I've built a lot of rapport with the front office and my teammates here. So I play a pretty big role without being on the floor. So for me, it's just about staying ready for when my opportunity comes, but being as supportive as I can in every position and every opportunity I can for these guys, and really just being ready for when my name is called. I think this year is going to be a very special year. We got a lot of talent, we got a lot of depth, and it's just going to be about, you know, staying on top of guys and waiting for my opportunity, but also holding guys to the standard that coach wants to be held to.
To that end, like, we saw how the team finished last season. You talked about how there's maybe little things here and there that everyone has to improve on. Do you feel like there's a momentum and a belief that hey, we're really close to achieving our goals and doing something special? Yeah,
I think last year is where it really started, that belief. It's just that we couldn't stay healthy, you know, and the hardest thing about not being healthy is when you have key players that are out for a couple weeks or a month or so, it's hard to kind of integrate them back in. You know, it's real life basketball. Once you get into a different rhythm, you have to make different adjustments. So now that we're going into camp healthy, going into this season healthy, but have a year under our belt where we have most of the guys back that we've been playing with, we have a lot more camaraderie on the floor. We understand what guys can do. And I think the biggest thing this year is we trust each other a lot more. So you're going to see a lot of guys show some things that you probably didn't think they couldn't do or were capable of, just because of the opportunity that we're allowing each other to play with the ball a lot more. You know, using each other on offense and playing together on defense. I think last year we were really good defensively and had our moments offensively, but some of our goals is to be top 10 or top 5 in defense and in offense. So that's going to take a lot of work, consistency, but I think that where we're strong is we're not changing much up. You know, we already know where we're running. It's just about getting the reps in this camp.
There's been a lot of talk about, you know, from Jeff and Jamahl about competition, earning minutes, earning opportunities. How does that excite you as a two-way player coming in on the roster?
It excites me a lot, you know, because I'm a competitive guy. That's one thing all my teammates will tell you. I'm probably one of the most competitive guys on the team, and I love competing. It's not just for myself, but for my teammates. It makes them better. But, you know, it's always opportunity in the NBA. It's just got to be ready to take advantage of it. I've been working really hard, so I'm really excited for that. But I understand what my role is on this team, and, you know, when things change, I'll be ready for it.
We saw you guys, you know, the whole group out, you know, at Summer League supporting the young guys on the team. Can you just talk a little bit more about the camaraderie and the relationship with all these guys in the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, our younger guys, they've come in and they've made some big strides, especially right after Summer League. But, you know, showing them the support at Summer League, just to show them that we're all brothers, we care about each other, was really important. And we try to do that every year, not as a traditional thing, but something that guys really want to do, be around each other. And I think Coach Mosley makes it a testament for us to really get together during the offseason. And I would say this offseason, a lot of us hung out a lot more. You know, either where we go to each other's hometowns or meet each other in different cities or whatever. Just spend a lot more time with each other, worked out with each other a lot more, so that, you know, it doesn't feel like we're getting to know each other all over again in the new season. So it feels like we've been together all year. It hasn't stopped. So the camaraderie is at an all-time high right now.
I know you've been able to spend some time with the rookies, AB, Jett. What have you seen from them? What excites you about, you know, bringing them into the fold this season?
I think the biggest thing is, you know, testament to Jeff and John and AP doing a great job of picking guys that really complement our roster already, that could come in and really make an impact right away. And man, I've seen the growth in both of them in just a matter of weeks. We've probably been here for about a month straight all together, and I mean, they've made big strides. I'm excited to see what they do in camp, and having Markelle, back and him, being able to mentor these guys is going to be very helpful for them because Markelle plays a really big role for us. He's a huge piece for this team, and he makes everyone better on this team. So they can learn from him. I know that when they get on the floor, it'll just go up from there. Our level of play just keep getting better.
Deal. Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate y'all.
Cool. See him on the court, and were you how much in contact have you been with him and
Me
give
and
him an idea of the NBA?
Me, brother Chet, all of us, our whole friend group, we talk every day in our group chat. Just kind of keeping up with each other, checking in, sending in videos, whatever it is, just seeing, talking to each other and being around each other. So Chet's been doing a great job. He's been working his tail off, and I'm proud of him. I can't wait for him to come back and get to hooping and playing and in his environment again. So, yeah.
There's a lot of talk about accountability on this roster and how the goal for this team is to hold each other accountable. What about this season will that be different compared to last year?
I think truly and truthfully doing it in all circumstances. No matter how tough a statement might be, how brutally honest you might have to be in a situation. I think just standing on that 100% of the time is going to be really important for us. I think that's the difference between those veteran and those really good teams and young teams who are kind of finding their way. You don't kind of want to keep up positive energy. You don't really want to tell where you're doing wrong or bring you down too much. But I think we found a good balance of being great and finding a way to do that respectfully, but still hold each other accountable and whether for faults, for great moments, and that's not just about turnovers and mistakes and things like that. Holding each other accountable for doing great things, for bringing the energy, for talking on defense, for being in help side. Like those are spots you can give accountability to, and somewhere where me personally I'm going to look to help us grow this year.
Jalen, what team drafted Anthony Black 6th overall this year? Have you guys had the chance to talk between the two of you, just how you might be able to lock down other backcourts? And you guys playing pickup, have you been able to display that at all yet?
Plenty talks. I love that draft pick. I love AB. He's a great kid. Talking about like great kid, I'm 2 years older than him. He's a great person. We spent a lot of time here together, since he's gotten here, and kind of whenever he's in town, we get on the court together and we work and just trying to be able to give him the things that kind of troubled me and gave me some some bumps in the road along the way in my 2 years, and it's great just to be able to. I learn from him. He helps me get better. We push each other in workouts, and him and Jett are going to be great. I think they're going to be really good in this league, and they have really good personalities. They want to come work. They're willing to listen and learn. I think, which is one of the best character traits you can have, especially in this business. So I'm excited to see their growth.
Jalen, what part of your game do you think people that they might not expect you to have this coming season you've been working on your side to showcase that this year?
My self-discipline. I think that's been something that I've honed in on all summer. It's been the biggest thing for me, that and my temperance. And in that, my entire game has opened up, and I'm out here hooping, playing free, feeling like Jay says again, and it's a great feeling because my identity's not wrapped up in this sport no more. I know who I am. I'm a great guy, a son, a big brother, a follower of God, and I can put my trust and my faith in that, and it allows me to come out here and just hoop and play freely, and it's a great feeling. So I think every area you're going to see some improvement, but the biggest piece this summer that I've improved on, is away from the court. It's been that self-discipline and temperance.
Jalen, you seem to be a little bit more outspoken about your faith. Just talk about Jonathan Isaac and how you guys might have shared that, and if you had any talks about that.
Me and JR have had talks about it, been on and off. He helped me get baptized when I first got here, so we kind of started our journey together a while ago, and especially me being hurt, and he has his struggles with injuries, kind of being able to bounce off of each other in that, and he's given me a lot of words of encouragement, wisdom, all of that. And again, he's not too much older than me, but it feels like an OG, like a big brother, uncle, so it's dope to have those people around. And we definitely talked about our faith, our struggles, our journey, And it's been great to have somebody to, talk to and, bounce ideas off and vent to, so.
Everyone good?
Do you ever think about making the all-defensive team or anything? Would that be a goal of yours?
Absolutely. I think everybody knows the pride that I take in my defense and, willing to do anything, to help our team that night for a win. And, a lot of times on that defensive end, it's not something that a lot of people choose to do anymore, and it's something that I take a lot of pride in. So definitely hoping that, that's a goal one day. But, I think I do the right things. I keep taking care of myself and, and being myself on the court, I think that's a realistic goal for myself. So.
You got to play a lot of games.
Man, I gotta be healthy to get it. So we're gonna get there. Thanks, my dogs. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They lost a bunch of guys.
How you doing, Franz? What's going on? Good to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you, guys. What's up, Shane?
What's up, guys?
Well, Franz, I'm sure you've already been asked at some of the other stations, but just take us through what it was like to experience that this summer. It's obviously so difficult to win anything in any league, but that one especially.
Yeah, super special experience. Still hasn't really registered, honestly. So, yeah, just really cool. We had a really cool vibe going as a group and made special relationships, and that part is honestly almost more important to me. And yeah, I think I learned a lot though, playing in really important games, and not everything is going to go your way, but how do you still respond and win those close games? I think that was a really important experience for me.
Do you feel like you had any summer off season, I should say, or has it been like? Do you feel in like you're in mid-season form right now with the way everything's been going and how long you played in FIBA?
I mean, I didn't practice the whole 3 weeks now, so I think it takes a little bit to get acclimated again, and obviously it's a different game in the NBA, so I think that took me this week at least, but I'm really excited to be back, and honestly the schedule was really fit pretty well, honestly, better than last year I thought, so I had some time to relax and also get some work in, yeah.
Was there a difference in something that you learned from going to Eurobasket last year? I mean, World Cup's probably a step up. I know you had the injury to deal with too, but was there anything different that you learned this time around, or something that you applied from last year into this year playing those games?
I would just say that I think as a group and individually, I think I made a step from Eurobasket to the World Cup, what I kind of said earlier too, in those close games, in those important games. Not everything is going to go your way, whether it's referees or shots and are not falling and stuff like that. But I think we did a great job as a group, sticking together and coming out of those moments strong. And I think that's a really cool lesson for me. How do you approach those moments? And that's something I want to bring to the season.
What was it like to be able to experience the World Cup with your brother? Obviously, both your parents being there. What was that like for your family?
Yeah, super special. Couldn't have asked for a better summer. They were right behind the bench. And they were on the court after the game and stuff like that. So it was a really cool experience for them, and I'm sure they needed some time to reflect on it too, and kind of calm down again. So definitely a really cool memories. Yeah.
How much fun was it to compete with you and your brother against Paolo, and obviously to beat Team USA? And
that was really fun.
Have you talked any trash or anything like that?
No, I haven't. No, it was super cool. Obviously, a way different setting and a little weird to play against Paolo, but I think for him it was probably a really cool experience too, going through that. And for me and Mo, it was really special representing our country that way. And that's never been done for German basketball. So to be a part of that is really cool for both of us.
We know the way this team ended the season last year, there seemed to be a lot of optimism, a lot of positivity. Do you feel like that's something that can carry over? Does it feel like there's a different vibe in the building, based off of with how last year ended?
I think we had a good vibe going last year too. I think it's important to build on what we built last year, not start from zero. And I think it really helps that we have some continuity and have a lot of the same faces here, and people who know what the coaches want and how we played last year already. So Yeah, see, we got a good vibe going. So I'm not worried about that at all. We got really just great characters that fit really well together, and I'm also just happy to be back too. Only been here for a week now, but it's good to see the guys again.
Franz, you've been super efficient as a young player, but you also get a lot of your offense within the flow of the offense. What's your mentality this year about maybe being more aggressive or demanding the ball a little bit? How would you describe your mentality there?
I think my mentality, I just want to be impactful as a player, whatever that calls for in the game situation. I think my ability to be efficient in different situations, I think that's something that I'm still working on, and I mean that's what everybody does. But yeah, I'm not going to change my approach of how I like to play. At the end of the game, it's a team game, but being ready for whatever people want from me or what's expected in the game, that's what I want to bring.
Every playoff team has probably like an X factor guy. Should you guys make the playoffs, who would you say would be that X factor guy for this team?
I mean, dude, that's way too early to answer. We'll see, obviously, how we play and how rotations and stuff like that look. But I'm just super excited, like I said, to get started with this group. Add some new faces as well, and like I said, build on last year.
Franz, this team is largely going to go as you and Paolo go. Have the two of you talked about that at all? Do you feel that pressure, and how do you think the two of you can step further into leadership roles this season?
Yeah, I think we did talk about the leadership piece, taking more responsibility on that end. I think it's a unique situation because we're really young, and sometimes it's weird talking to older guys and telling them, something that you see maybe, but as we continue to start this season, I think it's just good to have those conversations and be open with each other, and I think that's something that is going to help us a lot, just holding everybody accountable, and everybody doing that, everybody stepping in a leadership role in their own unique way, and I think we did have those conversations, and obviously we'll continue to have them.
Is Germany looking to repeat next summer?
I mean, I would love that. Still very far away though, so I'll enjoy the gold medal for now, and and start this NBA season.
Franz, how do you feel after the long World Cup? Physically, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm good, honestly. I think I had like I said, I think the schedule fit really well, where I had time to relax a little bit, calm down from the really intense summer, and then gear up again and get ready for training camp. So honestly, I feel really good.
What's the best and the worst aspect of working with your brother every day?
I mean, the best aspect is just that you're around family. I think in this business, that's not a given at all. So just enjoying that, and then the worst, I mean, he talks a lot, so sometimes that can be a lot.
Is it going to help having Joe there to attract his attention? I know they got into a little bit during the World Cup too.
Of course, yeah. Joe talks a lot too. I'm really excited for Joe to come to this team, and he's going to add, like we just talked about, a lot of maturity and leadership that we need.
This is since you've been here, the most expectations the Magic team has had going into the season. Just talk a little bit about your expectations, and Paolo said at the end of last season, playoffs or bust. How do you feel about that?
I think that's definitely possible. I think everybody should think like that and try to get the most out of themselves. And I think if we do that and go day by day, the season is so long, I don't think it makes sense to look too far ahead. So I think if we do go day by day, I think our talent is, we have a really deep team, and can have a really successful year.
Thanks, Franz.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, Franz. Kind of pull Kobe with Paolo. What you did after 08?
I mean, we stopped playing in April, so we got a good chunk of time where we could turn our brains off and not worry about basketball too much. But yeah, I'm kind of in the flow a little bit. You have to get ready a little earlier. Glad that nobody got hurt, and we can just kind of hit the ground running.
How valuable is that experience of winning a championship? Winning a championship to bring back to this team that's trying to get in the playoffs and experience those pressure games?
yeah, I wouldn't overemphasize it. I wouldn't overvalue it. Every circumstance is different. Every situation is different. I do think though that you learn a lot about what it needs to win when you win, and that's something I think I learned this summer, and how to embrace your role, and seeing that works gives you a lot of confidence in that process. So I guess I can apply that here.
What do you think are going to be kind of the key things that you're going into training camp and the season, preseason, everybody's healthy, but for you personally, what are you looking towards and trying to kind of build upon from last season?
Honestly, I mean, everything. I don't go in with a set goal. Obviously, I have a mental game plan, but I don't overthink things too much. I want to embrace being part of this group, enjoying this process with the guys, and get better every day, work here every day, and then everything else will take care of itself.
But the way last season ended, does it feel like there's a different vibe or different expectation for what you guys can accomplish this year?
I mean, expectation I don't think we've ever had. I think we always set a really high standard on ourselves. From the day on Mose got here, I think we've been having the same attitude. The great energy has been here for 2 years now. That doesn't change with maybe more expectation. We're going to do the same thing, work hard, improve, and the results will take care of itself.
How's your summer schedule changed how your body is going into the season? Is it different? Do you feel like you've shed some rust off that you might not need to in different summers?
Nah. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not really. It's already 3-4 weeks ago, so might not take me that long because I was just playing. It might get me shorten the time frame of me getting back into rhythm a little bit, but it didn't change it too much. You just play earlier, it's just mental fatigue, honestly, that you need to figure out quickly because it's a toll on you. It's a whole season in the off season, and you got to figure out a way to stay mentally fresh. And but with this environment and those guys, it's pretty easy.
Continuity's been a theme that's been preached a lot today, and a lot of teams have been busy on the trade market. Orlando hasn't been as much. How much do you think that's going to give you guys an advantage in the early part of the season, especially with the in-season tournament as well? That first part of the year, getting off to a fast start.
Well, I think in general, every time you want to grow, consistency is a big part of that, and I'm very excited that that's the plan here. Obviously, great to be part of that, and it's a really cool group that makes it really special. And we're kind of just going with the flow.
Talk about adding a guy like Joe Ingles, a guy you've been around, opposite ends of the court, now on your same team. Kind of talk about having him in the fold.
Yeah, I mean, he adds a great deal of maturity, obviously. That's another way of me saying he's old. No, he's amazing. I mean, I think we really need one like him. I think he brings a certain edge to this team. I think we're a great group of guys that is all very nice to each other, but sometimes it needs some accountability as well, and his maturity helps us in that regard. I think he got better every year, and people see how he works. I think will transpire into how they work, and that's how it's going to work out. I think he's going to be very valuable for us, and he's a cool guy to be around, so I'm very excited that he's here.
Apart from the obvious, your brother's on the roster here. Can you talk about, sort of what went into your thinking in re-signing with the Magic this summer?
Well, I just think it's a exciting environment. You don't get the opportunity every time in the NBA to be part of something from scratch, and I think that's given here. A program that's being built within the last 2 years that where everybody kind of feels a part of, and being a part of that means a lot to me, and I value that a lot, and you don't get to do that in the NBA a lot. So with that crazy amount of turnover, obviously that plays a huge role.
Obviously, your on-court impact, but off the court last year, it seemed like you were sort of one of the steadying forces in the locker room throughout the early struggles in the season. Can you talk a bit about where your sense of perspective and sort of groundedness comes from?
I don't know perspective. I don't know something. Appreciate you saying that. I don't know. I mean, I guess Franz has that as well. I think we all have that. I think we're a very reflective group. I do think that I sometimes don't really, that I have the courage to open my mouth and say things, sometimes maybe a little too much. I'm learning in that regard as well, but I think that is valuable as well, to be able to express certain things that are needed to be said, obviously in the right ratio, but I think that I have some value there. Good seeing you guys. Have a good one.
Thanks so much.
You right? All right, okay. I'll do my best.
Jeff, so much work obviously goes into your off season as you go through the draft, summer league, etc. How excited are you to see all the work that you guys put in the off season start to unfold as the season begins here?
I mean, it's an exciting time for the organization, exciting time for our team, but I will say that it's an exciting time for all 30 teams right now. If you're not feeling good about your team today, something's wrong. And we're really excited to launch the season, and I know the guys are eager to get on the court tomorrow and start working.
How did last year the team took a step up, they leveled up, as Coach likes to say. You got back into the postseason chase. How does the preparation, or how do the expectations change now that you have that little bit of success under your belt, moving into this next season and trying to do it all again?
It's basketball. It's not rocket science, right? It's the same things we always talk about. We need to not foul as much. We need to not turn the ball over as much. We need to execute properly. So it's just growth, and it's something that you would assume it's the NBA is baked in. Like, as young guys grow up, they do that stuff better. So when we were healthy, we played good basketball. We need to stay healthy and play better basketball. And after that, Philip, we just kind of go where it takes us. We have a lot to learn about our team this year. I think it's really important. Obviously, you guys that track the CBA and the CAP, we have some hard decisions coming, as all teams do. And we have a lot to learn about our own team, how it fits and what drives winning for us. But given those two things, given the health and given the kind of expected improvement of young players, it could be. We hope it's an exciting season for us.
Trademark.
You reached your off-season goals.
I would say that I don't really look at us going into any summer as having off-season goals per se, because anytime you're in the off-season, you're necessarily talking about dealing with other teams. And so, the market is driven by, what players, are seeking to be moved, what teams are looking to retool. So I don't really kind of approach the off-season as we have off-season goals. I know that we wanted to, try to get a guy like Joe here, who's a really, I won't even say a guy like Joe. We wanted to get Joe here because he's a unique guy, and I think he'll help us in every possible way. And other than that, we really feel that we have a lot of internal growth baked into this team. And I'll say, I feel like we have it baked in for years to come. I mean, that's what happens when you're drafting, young guys and letting them play and building a team around them. So now they're going to come to they're all in their pre-prime years still. And, we need to really understand the dynamics on our team this year. We have a lot to learn.
Trademark has been busy the last couple of days, but y'all have been preaching consistency, continuity within the roster. Do you expect that's going to give some of y'all a type of advantage for the first part of the season at least?
I hope so. I can't imagine there's a team with more continuity than us roster-wise. I mean, we really didn't make too many changes. Obviously, we've added Joe and drafted a couple rookies, but I do believe that continuity matters. But I always tell you guys, it has to be a continuity of a team that you believe in. If you don't have a team that you think really has a ceiling and has a good trajectory, why have continuity for that team? So obviously, the fact that we have maintained continuity this summer kind of speaks to the fact that we believe in these guys. We think they're going to get better, and we want to track where this thing takes us before we make any kind of wholesale decisions.
What are your expectations for Anthony and Jett coming into that rookie year?
It's a great question, because one of the criticisms when we kind of deviated on our path a few years ago was now we're going to be playing all these rookies that haven't earned minutes. And I think there was some merit to that. I mean, that is kind of the yin and the yang of a rebuild, right? And so now I think it's going to be harder for these guys to get on the floor, quite honestly. And we're not gifting anybody minutes. And that's a good thing. You know, that means that we're getting better. I think, you know, I don't know how great we are, but I do think we have good depth. We have talent spread out positionally. And I hope that I know they're both going to work. I know they're both going to be great teammates. And you know what the season brings, their rookie year, I'm not certain, but I think they both have you know, a lot of potential, and they're great kids, and you know, I think they're going to be valuable players for our team going forward. I don't know what this season's going to look like.
With training camp starting, starting to see the roster set, what would you say on paper is this team's greatest strength in basketball?
What's our greatest strength? I feel that I hope our greatest strength is health, you know, because it's been our greatest weakness in the last few seasons, you know. I feel that, you know, we may not have those, you know, all-NBA guys on our roster, at least they haven't been exposed to that yet, but I feel that the togetherness, I feel that the skill set, I feel like the versatility, the depth, we already showed that we can be a high-level defensive team when healthy. I think that will only ratchet up this season. And I don't look at any one thing. I think that we have the kind of team that coach can look down the bench and win a different game a different way every night. And so, you know, I would say that would be, I would hope, our strength. But it starts with health.
To that point, saw Jamahl talk to Dan at allformenergy.com. Is everyone cleared to go for training camp, full go? Does anyone have any restrictions entering camp as far as you know?
Yeah, no. Right now, this is for sure, since we've kind of, you know, retooled our team, this is the healthiest we've been at this time of year, knock on wood. And, you know, obviously that has a lot to do in this league with success. So, you know, right now everyone's a go, and, you know, obviously we'll manage different guys differently. But we're excited about, like, the fact that we actually will show up tomorrow with a full roster.
With Jonathan obviously specifically, how do you manage his return? You know, obviously he got a little bit of playing time last year, but he's coming off surgery again. It's still been not quite going through the grind of an NBA season. Does he still have to be managed a little bit, or what are you expecting from him entering this season?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, like, we'll be very cognizant of you know, how he's loaded up and how we're unfolding his minutes. That's obviously more of a question for our performance staff and for Arnie Kander than anyone and anything I could give you. But obviously we'll be very protective of Jonathan's health and rolling him out the right way. But, you know, he will be a full participant in camp, and from there we'll let, you know, Arnie kind of guide us on that. And obviously Jonathan and Arnie, you know, will be the ones that steer us on that.
With Cole and Markelle being extension eligible, has there been any conversation between the organization and their representatives?
Yep. So you know, we have great relationships with both of their agents. They're both you know, very talented, high-character young players, and obviously there are timelines associated with all of these things. Beyond that, I really, you know, am not comfortable commenting on that. I think that's, you know, kind of team business that needs to stay that way. But you know, two obviously bright young players that I think have value around the league, have value to our team. They each have great representatives, so we'll see where that takes us. You know, the landscape of free agency is such that you know, there's a new CBA. We have to learn about our team, and you know, it's free agency is tricky a year in advance because you're trying to predict something that everybody wants to see a little bit of, not just us but them. And so we'll have those conversations. We've you know, been in touch, but we'll see where that all takes us. But either way, I would expect that those guys are, you know, pumped up to get going, and that they'll have good seasons for us this year.
We saw Paolo and Franz perform really well at the World Cup, and Joe, Goga, and Mo were also there. How valuable is that World Cup experience, especially for the younger players, being in meaningful games, having to feel a little bit of that win now pressure?
Yeah, I'm glad that you even mentioned Goga, because, like, you know, Goga played really well. And it's a different experience for everybody. I mean, every national team is different, just like every NBA team is different. They all have kind of different levels of expectation and veteran players and whatnot. Obviously, Franz's experience was completely different from Paolo's and completely different from Goga, you know. But I think the fact that they're getting coached by different, you know, members of the staff, and they're different coaching staffs. They're playing with different players. They're in a different competition. It's all you know, information that they're gathering and different ways of working that they're learning about. And so I think it's great that they bring that back. You know, it's great to bring back, as we bring back a very continuity-laden roster, it's great to bring back some new information, some new ways to work. And I guarantee you that anything they share with Coach Mose will be, you know, processed and maybe like, you know, taken layers of to incorporate in his own way of coaching, you know. So I think it's been a great experience for all of them, and, you know, I know that they're rested. You know, Coach had them kind of like stay away for a little bit when they got done, and now they're ready to, like, they're chomping at the bit to start going.
Jamahl entering his third season, what do you want to see from him? How has he grown in these first 2 seasons as a head coach, and where do you want to see him kind of grow and build as a leader for this team?
I think, you know, he's a great leader. He's obviously he's like anyone. He's like myself or any player or anyone, any coach. You know, it takes time to kind of grow into, you know, how you're going to do this, what tools you're going to use to be successful. And I just, you know, feel like Coach has, you know, shown tremendous growth, you know, in the way he wants to lead and the way he wants to relate to his staff and, you know, manage our team. And the guys, you know, done a great job. I would just look for more of that. I think our whole team is growing, you know, and, you know, Coach is 3rd year, you know, now, and he just continues to get better and better, and you know, he's been, you know, great to work with.
Everyone good here? All right, thank you. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys. Okay.